She was only 8 years old. A bright, gentle little girl living high above the Saigon River in a tower of glass and luxury. From the outside, her life looked perfect. But inside those walls, she was living her last days in silence, pain, and fear. Saigon Pearl, one of Ho Chi Minh City's most prestigious apartment complexes. High-rise towers with sweeping views. A place for the wealthy and influential. But in the Topaz 2 Tower, apartment 906, December 22, 2021 would end in one of the most horrifying child abuse cases Vietnam had seen in years, right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. That evening, an ambulance rushed an unconscious child to Vinh Mec General Hospital. She was small, fragile, and covered in bruises. The doctors knew instantly she had died before even reaching them. And as they examined her tiny frame, the truth began to spill out: injuries, both fresh and old. Some healed, some stitched, others too deep to be hidden by time. This was 8-year-old Nguyen Thai Van An. Van An was born in 2013, the first child of Nguyen Kim Trung Thai and Nguyen Thi Han. By all accounts, she was polite, obedient, and bright, the kind of student who made her teachers proud. She lived with her parents and their elderly housekeeper, Lati Tich, who had cared for her since she was 4 months old. In August 2020, her parents divorced. The court granted custody of Van An to her father, while her younger brother stayed with her mother. The little girl moved with her father and housekeeper into the lavish Saigon Pearl complex. Tich remembers those days. Every week, Mr. Thai would give me 800,000 VND to go to the market. I took care of her meals and all the household chores. He was often away for work. Sometimes, he'd sit down to eat with us only every few days. Then came Nguyen Vo Nguyen Trang. In September 2020, she moved in, introduced as just a friend, but she quickly became the de facto stepmother. Early warning signs: Thai's parents opposed the marriage. He didn't want more children. Trang didn't like that. Jealousy and resentment began to grow. She made small, cutting gestures, giving Tich a few pieces of beef but deducting money from the market budget, always calculating. Tich says she never saw Trang physically hurt and at first only yell during tutoring. But Thai himself would also scold and curse at the little girl during study sessions. Soon, contact between Van An and her real mother was blocked. Tich sometimes secretly arranged meetings between mother and daughter after school. But when Trang discovered this through the apartment's security cameras, she turned vicious. Tich's belongings were thrown out. She was insulted and eventually fired. Lockdown September 2021. Vietnam had managed to hold off COVID for a year through strict measures. But now, the virus arrived and lockdown began. Schools closed. Children studied online from home. For Van An, that meant being alone all day with Trang. The abuse escalated fast. Abuse details: according to prosecutors, there were 121 separate instances where Trang beat her. She used her hands, feet, wooden sticks, whips, metal rods, even the hose of a vacuum cleaner. She forced the little girl to kneel naked for hours, arms raised. Locked her in a dog cage with the family dogs. Deprived her of sleep. Threatened her to keep studying. Her father? He witnessed it. Sometimes he joined in. Audio from the apartment caught him saying, "You fucking dog, bite her," neighbor Nguyen Tien Si recalls. From October 2020, we heard noises and shouting. We reported it to the building security, but they said it was a private family matter. During the lockdown, I heard yelling and crying almost every week, even late at night. I didn't think it was child abuse. I thought it was a husband and wife arguing. The final day, December 22, 2021. Morning online class, 7 to 11. Lunch, pho and 3 boxes of milk. Afternoon tutoring. Mistakes in homework. The rage began. From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Trang beat her with a wooden stick, 90 centimeters long, 2.2 centimeters thick. She kicked her, tied her legs with rope, slapped her hard on the head, kicked her off a chair. At by evening, the little girl could barely stand. Trang helped her to the bed. She fell. She vomited. She collapsed. Unconscious, Trang called Thai. He had just arrived at the building from work. They called an ambulance. But by the time she reached the hospital, she was gone. The autopsy told the rest: broken ribs, brain swelling, pulmonary edema, bruises on her armpits, large bruises on her buttocks, old scars on her head. Months of pain. In the hospital corridor, Tai learned the truth of what Trang had done and chose to delete all 4 security camera recordings. The arrests and trial police recovered the footage anyway. On December 23, Trang was arrested for torture. On December 30, Tai was arrested for complicity and concealment. The case escalated to murder charges by January 2022. The first trial was set for July 21, 2022. Thousands gathered outside the courthouse, demanding justice. The court initially planned a closed trial, but public outrage forced them to open it. During proceedings, lawyers for the victim's family demanded Tai be charged as an accomplice to murder. The footage showed him beating and alongside Trang on December 10, 4 hours into the night, but the Forensic Institute refused further injury assessments, claiming medical records were incomplete. By November 25, 2022, Nguyen Vo Nguyen Trang, death sentence for murder plus 3 years for torture. Nguyen Kim Trung Tai, 3 years for torture plus 5 years for concealment equals 7 years total. Appeals and public outrage. Trang appealed at first, claiming the sentence was too heavy, but withdrew it in April 2023. The victim's family appealed to increase Tai's charge to accomplice to murder. Lawyers argued old injuries could have contributed to her death, but in May 2023, prosecutors insisted only the December 22 injuries caused her death. The old wounds weakened her, but weren't fatal. They argued Tai lacked intent to kill. The sentences stood. Courtroom moments. Trang admitted beating and until her hand was tired, switching hands, then wearing gloves to keep going. When asked why she tied the girl with rope, she claimed not to remember. Through tears, she said, "I cannot explain why I did that. My actions were too cruel. I apologized to her family." Tai admitted deleting the footage to hide their actions. The prosecutor told him, "The public is outraged with Trang once but outraged with you 10 times more." When Tai said he blocked his ex-wife from visits because of family rumors, the judges didn't believe him. Public reaction. The nation grieved. UNICEF's representative in Vietnam expressed deep sadness that a child had been killed by the very adults meant to protect her. Outside Saigon Pearl, people gathered with banners. Candles were lit. White chrysanthemums arranged in her name. Children and strangers bowed their heads in silence. Social media erupted. The hashtag #JusticeForAnne spread everywhere. But rumors of corruption swirled when Tai's sentence came down. Many saw it as far too lenient. Family grief. Her mother, Nguyen Thi Han, said, "I was extremely hurt when I saw the images of the bruises on my daughter." Even more heartbreaking, her biological father concealed the crime and allowed it to happen. Housekeeper Tich cried, "She was so gentle, I regret I couldn't see her one last time." Her grandmother, outside court, shouted, "Shut up. She would not recognize you as her father." Closing reflection. If you hear cries, don't ignore them. Report what feels wrong. Silence lets abuse grow. You could save a life.